The atmosphere grew tense between the UFC fighters as both Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev delivered strong responses to Ilia Topuria after the featherweight champion openly challenged the two fighters, particularly Makhachev, who became irritated with the Spaniard. Here's a detailed look at what's happening among them, which has shaken the MMA world and become the talk of the community. Ilia Topuria is one of the big names in MMA today, gaining significant prominence, partly thanks to his controversial statements that keep him in the spotlight. Topuria openly dismissed Makhachev, claiming he would be the first fighter to submit the Russian. As if that wasn't enough, the Spaniard now aims to move up in weight class and face Charles Oliveira right away. Let's dive into Ilia Topuria's ambitious plans, which are causing quite a stir. I was talking about Miami. I don't really know. I don't have an idea because I still have to have a couple of conversations to talk about it and see how they see my future. But more or less, I have it quite clear how I want it to be and an idea that I want. I would like to go up to the next division, and since Islam, the champion in that division, is going to fight in January and he's not going to stay, that is, he's not going to be ready for April, May, I would like to fight with the number one contender that division is right now. That's Charles Oliveira. Maybe it's time for a change. Now it's time to enjoy a little more of what I do. Not care so much about the weight cut. Imagine, I made my UFC debut in 2020 and started ranking at featherweight. Like, you get your position in the ranking, so you've earned your ranking in that weight, and then if you change, you lose all the work you've done within the rankings. So you stay there, but 4 years pass, you evolve, you grow, your body develops more, and it costs more and more to cut weight. I already have a UFC fight at lightweight. It was the one in London. The truth is that I felt super comfortable with the process because the weight cuts don't affect you. It gives you the opportunity to stay a little more active. Because if you eliminate that part, then it's going to a pretty fun trip. As expected, Charles Oliveira was recently asked about a potential fight against Ilia Topuria, and the Brazilian made sure to warn the Spaniard about the dangers he's facing, emphasizing that the lightweight division is extremely tough and competitive. Ilia is a tough fighter, someone who talks the talk and walks the walk, a guy I like to see fight. He's doing things. I can see why he would want to challenge people. He would be, obviously, a tough fight. I think that what happens is a lot of fighters, whenever they get the belt, they have that belt wrapped around their waist, they start thinking up and down in the divisions. But I think you have to be very careful when you're coming up to lightweight because this is tough. This is a very tough division. I don't know how it would be Ilia Topuria in lightweight, but he's a dangerous guy. But at any rate, I think that he's a very tough and very dangerous guy. Islam Makhachev also responded to Topuria. Unlike Charles, the Russian took a harsher tone, even threatening to physically confront the featherweight champion, who has been provoking Makhachev on several occasions. We will definitely have some kind of conversation. He constantly talks about me. He talks about me all the time. He probably wants to tell me something. I don't understand what he wants to tell me. Let's step outside and talk. He wants to fight? We'll fight if we need to. In terms of my fighting career, I'm not interested in fighting Topuria at all. He's in a different weight class. I'll beat him, and what will that do for me? I won't win another belt. Everyone will once again say that I beat a featherweight. That's it. But if people really want to see him lose, then we can do it. I have other goals. I want to win a second belt. If you want to remain in history, then you have to do something memorable. It's worth mentioning that Javier Mendez, Islam Makhachev's coach, also weighed in on Topuria's provocations, warning the Spaniard that submitting someone from Dagestan is 1,000 times harder than submitting fighters from other countries. To be the first one to submit Islam is a big thing to throw out there. Let's see if the fight happens first. His coach said that he submits everybody and beats everybody at everything. Maybe Topuria is that confident because of what he does over there. But what's the quality of the opponents he's doing it to? I don't know that. You come to Dagestan and submit everybody there, then we can talk. But if you are doing it at home and you are not doing it with the beasts out of Abdulmanap Gym, then I don't know what's going to happen. You are going to have to be a pretty big beats in Abdulmanap Gym to do something with Islam. IHE never seen it. Before we start talking about guys moving up to other weight classes, look at Max Holloway. When he moved up, he had wiped out the entire division and proved to be the best 145-pounder, and then Volkanovski did the same. So there's plenty of challenges left for Topuria at 145. Javier Mendez continued his observations, reiterating that he sees no possibility of Topuria successfully submitting Islam Makhachev, stating that only Khabib Nurmagomedov could stand toe-to-toe with Makhachev. That would be an area I'd be foolish to want to try to go up against, boxing for boxing. That's not a smart move, you know? And it just would be like, if Ilia decided to go submission for submission with Islam, that's not a smart move on his part either. So it's all strategy and how you approach it, how your fighter approaches it, and what mistakes you can correct while the fight is going on. That's what I think is more important than anything. When the fight does get matched, it's just your game plan, your strategy, executing it. Whether he can hang with Islam or not on the ground, I would have to say no. Based on what I see with everybody and Islam. The only person that really did the most with him was Khabib, and at the end of the day, the longer you grapple with Islam, the worse it's going to get. When he took Max down with ease in the first round, I said, that's the way you fight MMA, and he has a very strong stand-up game. I would think that he's probably the best boxer in the whole entire division. He's really crisp and very on point with his boxing, and therefore you see how he uses it really, really well. He's a complete fighter, but his boxing, I think, is his best attribute out of everything he does. He's impressive, very impressive. In addition to Ilia Topuria, Islam Makhachev opened up about Charles Oliveira, sharing his honest opinion about who won the fight between Arman Tsarukyan and Charles, and mentioned that he would give Charles a rematch. Yes, I saw his fight with Arman and it was a close fight. Charles almost finished him in every round, give Arman hard time. It was a close fight, but Arman took him down and controlled him, that's why I think Arman deserved the win. But before the fight, Arman permits everybody to finish and knock out Oliveira. And it's don't believe what Arman say. Charles is one of the most excited fighter in our promotion, he always give good fights for the fans, which he did with Chandler. The fans love him and I respect him. Just want to say sorry to all Brazilians that I took the belt from him, but one day maybe I'll give him a rematch and we can fight again. If the people want to see that fight, I have to fight. He's a dangerous guy, you always have to be ready. He have good skills in the grappling, and if you blink he can finish you. Charles is a good striker, a good grappler, and have a good skills. So, folks, it's clear Ilia Topuria is seeking new challenges, and it does seem likely that the Spaniard will move up in weight. The tension continues to build, especially between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, and who knows, maybe this fight will actually happen next year. But what about your opinion? Do you think Ilia Topuria would beat Islam Makhachev in a lightweight bout? Leave your thoughts in the comments so we can chat about it. If you really love MMA and want to stay updated on everything happening in the fighting world, you'll definitely want to check out these other two videos showing up on the screen. These two videos are super informative, and I'm sure you'll enjoy them and stay updated on the latest MMA news. If you liked this video, subscribe to the channel and leave a like to help promote the content. See you next time.